Welcome to another issue of Yada News, where we take today's news and move it from gossip into knowledge. Growing up, for as long as I can remember, I've heard about the 40-hour work week. And it was even taught to us in school that back in prior times, people worked from morning till the end of the day. And when there was no electricity, it was till the sunset. And they would collapse into bed, barely sustaining themselves. And there's some truth to this, that it has been a huge blessing, the 40-hour work week. But there's a subtle, insipid lie, and this is where statists and leftists tell you something gossipy that feels good, but they leave out the true knowledge. So consider this. With my son, it's not so much about what I say, it's what I do. If you want to be highly successful, you don't really want to listen to what successful people say. Instead, look at what they do, their habits. What did it take to get there? Now let's do a mental exercise. Let's make this personal for you. I want you to think of the top 3 or 4 people you admire, not because of their kindness or generosity or good looks or anything like that, but that you admire because of their skill, of something they worked to accomplish. Okay? So hence when I'm talking about success here, yes, there are people that are well off that might have inherited that. But if you aren't going to inherit your wealth, then you can't do what they did. So let's look at the things that are reproducible. And for that, picture someone that earned it. Now think about what they did. Be it, we had my favorite defenseman growing up, Al MacInnis, and he took shots and honed his slap shot. Wayne Gretzky up early at night. I remember athletes way back in my university days. There were some Olympic athletes that were up early honing their skills, went to school all day long, and actually one of them achieved a gold medal in the Olympics. Also, consider doctors. I'm a chiropractor, and my worst quarter of schedule, you basically woke up early, did a little prep work, did your classes, did your time with patients, came home, ate, got to work, and that quarter, everyone knew that you weren't going to breathe. It was, are you going to survive this quarter? Now, I've got friends that were MDs, and my sister is about to enter a residency right now. The level of insanity they have to go through. I remember way back going to visit a friend of mine in Edmonton, and when I arrived in Edmonton, he was at the hospital. I was in town for about 22 hours. He had just got to the hospital when I arrived in Edmonton, and he was still at the hospital when I left. And that was as a student. So consider these people, the things I've given you, they weren't even earning money. They were going into debt during this thing and putting in over 40-hour work weeks. So consider this, that I am happy that there's a reasonable chance that most people, if they just do a little skill development, can live an okay life on a 40-hour work week. But now going back to what I asked you to think about, can you list one person that is just truly successful and you admire what they've accomplished and you went, wow, they created something that they did it on a 40-hour work week? Most small business owners I know didn't do it. And the list goes on and on. So consider this. If 40 hours, and here's the graphic, if 40 hours lets you survive. And you do that 40 hours for 40 years, from age of 20 to age of 60. And you're sitting there and you got a bit of a pension, but life is a little tough. If you're looking at someone that maybe averaged 60, 70 hours and front-loaded that in their skill-building phase of their life, they were doing 80 hours. And trust me, if you're a professional, a lawyer, a doctor, 80 hours is kind of the holiday week for you when you're a student. So if at age 60 you're sitting there going, oh, well, the haves have so much more than me. Well, consider that if 40 hours lets you survive, as we see here, everything above 40 is investing in yourself, developing skill, and that pays off over years. The earlier you get what we used to call the Protestant work ethic and work hard, build your skills, that is the true dividend. Forget investing in the stock market. Not that I'm against that, but take and invest in yourself. Rather than investing on what the TV has and giving them the revenue for your eyeballs, learn, develop yourself, because here is the punchline. The lie of the 40-hour week is a lie that is a level that will give you a truly satisfying life. Or, if your satisfaction is tied up in free time, pause on that. If your satisfaction is tied up in free time, then what I want you to do is acknowledge that people that work twice as hard as you and didn't have your free time, they deserve more financial success. They should not be punished for it or viewed negatively. If the government taxed free time like they do your income, then someone that's working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and there are people that work more and are paying 50% of their income on every single hour they work beyond 40 for sure, then what would happen is they would come and say, well, you only work 40 hours a week. You need to go and mow the yards of 5 people that are working 60 plus hours a week if we taxed your free time. So when the next time you think taxing people that are putting their whole life into skill set development and becoming more, and their reward is on the money side, if your reward was on the free time side, should you be taxed for that? So this is what I hope is a mindset change, going from the gossip that 40 hours somehow, if you do that, you have the right to be hostile and make demands of people that have worked harder. Well, then do they have the right to make demands of your free time? What about some things you maybe chose to have? Like maybe you have a better relationship with your children. Maybe you're volunteering and enjoying that. You can have enrichment in many other ways. But why is our society hostile towards those that choose to work hard and be enriched in a financial manner? Because they are paying the price in other aspects of your life, because there is only 168 hours a week. So in closing, consider that the emotion of what we deserve for 40 hours, remember, through most of human history, that wouldn't have even let you survive. So I am so thankful that we can survive at that. But if you want to be awesome, it's the above 40. It's the extra that you develop the skills to be one of the people that your friends look up and go, I admire what he or she created. Thank you very much. This is Yada News, where we take today's gossip that is told to us as news and transfer it into knowledge. Entitlement is gossip. Knowledge is differentiating what did people work for and what do you value. I'm not saying you need to do this, but don't be hostile towards others that don't. Please subscribe, like, share this. We need to engage in a dialogue.